In 2015, America proudly stood as a beacon of progress, a land where dreams bloomed freely and social barriers seemed to be gradually dissolving. Major cities like Los Angeles were dazzled with Hollywood lights. New York was bustled with lively streets, and Silicon Valley thrived with startup dreams. But beneath that glamorous surface, an undeniable truth quietly persisted. Racial prejudice, like a long shadow, had never truly disappeared. In crowded coffee shops, social media forums, and even family conversations, scrutinizing glances and whispered judgments still followed interracial couples. Those who dared to love beyond the boundaries of skin color often faced suspicion, ridicule, and sometimes even open hostility. This is the story of Ethan Carter, a white American man, and Maya Johnson, a black American woman. Two people who wrote a radiant chapter of love across the lines of prejudice, proving that genuine love can overcome all trials. At that time, America was undergoing profound social upheaval. The Black Lives Matter movement was erupting across the streets from Ferguson to Baltimore, igniting heated debates about racial equality. The media constantly reported on incidents of discrimination, while platforms like Twitter and Facebook became battlegrounds of opposing opinions. Though interracial marriage had been legalized since 1967 through the Loving v. Virginia decision, it remained a sensitive topic. According to a 2013 Gallup survey, only 87% of Americans supported interracial marriage, and that number dropped significantly in some conservative communities. Couples like Ethan and Maya faced not only the judgment of strangers, but sometimes also that of their families, friends, and those they once trusted. Ethan grew up in a peaceful suburban neighborhood in California, where he often heard stories about multicultural harmony. But as he entered adulthood, he realized that talk of equality was usually just surface level. He had once witnessed a black colleague being denied a promotion, despite being highly qualified, simply because he didn't fit the company's image. These experiences made Ethan more sensitive to injustice, though he never imagined he would become part of a story shaped by racial difference until he met Maya. Maya, by contrast, grew up in the South Side of Chicago, where the black community was closely knit, but burdened by systemic discrimination. She learned to take pride in her heritage through the stories of her grandmother, who had participated in the civil rights movement of the 1960s. But Maya was no stranger to suspicious glances when entering an upscale store, or the subtle bias during modeling auditions. "You're too dark for this role," a casting director had once told her, bluntly pushing Maya to fight for her worth. Though invisible, these minor wounds had shaped her into a resilient woman who always smiled in adversity. When Ethan and Maya met, they were not just two individuals who found each other in a sea of people. They were symbols of a changing America, where love could become a powerful statement against prejudice. But their journey wasn't a simple fairy tale. Each step came with invisible challenges: cruel comments on social media, disapproving looks from passers-by, and loaded questions from acquaintances. "Are you sure about this relationship?" a friend of Ethan once asked, voice tinged with doubt. "Do you think he understands what we go through?" a cousin of Maya once said, her eyes filled with worry. But Ethan and Maya refused to let those words define their love. They chose to confront prejudice with sincerity and courage. Every time they held hands on the street, every smile they shared in a crowd, they were rewriting social norms bit by bit. Their story was about love between two people, and how they stood against a world still reluctant to embrace difference. They turned judgmental stares into motivation, whispers into inspiration, and barriers into bridges. This is only the beginning of Ethan and Maya's journey, a story that will take us through romantic moments, bitter trials, and sweet victories. In a world where prejudice still lingers in every alley, their love is a flame that cannot be extinguished, a testament that when two hearts beat as one, no boundary is impenetrable. Step into their world, where every smile is a declaration, and every hand held is a quiet revolution. In the fall of 2015, Los Angeles gleamed under golden-orange sunlight. The cobbled streets of Hollywood Boulevard sparkled with neon lights and dreams. In that atmosphere, Ethan Carter, a 34-year-old cinematographer, was immersed in the busy days of life. He was a tall man with tousled brown hair and blue eyes that always sparked curiosity. His job producing music videos for rising stars took him to dazzling stages, but left him exhausted from long nights of editing and intense meetings. Ethan loved art, loved how a camera could tell a story through just one angle. But he often wondered if something was missing in his life, a spark to brighten his monotonous days. Thousands of miles away in New York, Kid Johnson, 28, was living a dream of her own. As a prominent model, she had appeared on the covers of Vogue and Essence, her radiant smile and glowing brown skin captivating photographers. Maya grew up in the South Side of Chicago, where she learned to walk confidently through hardship. Her mother, a teacher, once told her, "You have to shine twice as bright to be seen." That lesson had carried Maya through tough auditions, where she was often the only black model in the room. Despite her success, Maya still felt an emptiness inside, a longing for someone who could see her true self, not just the spotlight on the runway. Fate brought them together through MySpace, a social network fading in the era of Facebook and Twitter. One late evening, Ethan saw a photo of Maya as he browsed through friends' profiles. She was standing before a graffiti-covered wall in Brooklyn, wearing a leather jacket, her eyes sparkling like they held an entire universe. Ethan couldn't look away. He wasn't the type to message strangers, but something about Maya made him feel he had to act. With some hesitation, he sent a message. "Hi, your photo in Brooklyn is amazing. Are you an artist?" He didn't know that those simple words would change his life. Maya, resting after an exhausting photo shoot, laughed when she read Ethan's message. "An artist? Not exactly, but I love telling stories through pictures," she replied, adding a laughing emoji. And so the conversation began, light but captivating. They talked about music. Ethan loved indie rock. Maya adored jazz and R&B. They shared their favorite films, from Spike Lee classics to the romantic works of Wes Anderson. Each message was a puzzle piece, gradually revealing two kindred spirits, even though a continent separated them. After 2 weeks of texting, Ethan suggested a video call. Maya agreed, though, nervous, wondering if her voice would be as captivating as her photos. When the screen lit up, Ethan saw Maya sitting in her small Harlem apartment, her natural curls down, and a cup of tea in her hand. "Hello, Mr. Cameraman," she said playfully. Ethan smiled, his heart beating faster than usual. They talked for 3 hours about career dreams and childhood memories. Maya spoke of the first time she stood before a camera and how the world was watching. Ethan shared about filming a music video in the rain to capture the perfect light. The physical distance seemed to melt away, leaving only two people discovering each other through stories. Their first date was planned when Maya had a photo shoot in Los Angeles. Ethan chose a small cafe in Silver Lake, where the walls were covered in murals and the air smelled of fresh toast. When Maya walked in, wearing a sea green maxi dress, Ethan felt like time stopped. She smiled, and he knew he was falling. They sat across, talking like they'd known one another in a past life. But between the laughter, Maya noticed a few curious stares from the nearby table. An elderly couple whispered, their eyes passing over them with discomfort. Ethan felt it too, but he reached for Maya's hand under the table, as if to say, "It's just us here." That small moment was the first sign of the challenges they would face. But it was also the beginning of an irresistible love story. Ethan and Maya had not only found each other in a chaotic world, they had found refuge, a place where the difference in skin color wasn't a barrier, but part of what made them special. This fateful encounter wasn't just the start of a romance. It was the first step in a journey of facing the world, a world they would change together, one smile, one hand held at a time. After their first date at the Silver Lake Cafe, Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson stepped into a new world, where time seemed to slow down to make room for moments that belonged only to them. With its palm-lined streets and sunsets bathed in gold, Los Angeles became the perfect backdrop for a blossoming love story. Ethan, who was used to the hectic pace of life as a cinematographer, suddenly found himself counting the hours until he could see Maya again. Although accustomed to the spotlight and long photo shoots, Maya felt strange excitement every time Ethan's name appeared on her phone screen. This wasn't just love. It was a current and explosive chemistry that made them both realize they had found what they had been unknowingly searching for all these years. They began exploring each other through vivid, colorful dates in the following days. One afternoon, Ethan took Maya to Venice Beach, where they walked barefoot on the sand, letting the waves wash over their feet and the salty breeze dance through Maya's curls. They sat on a picnic blanket, sharing a box of sushi and stories about their dreams. Maya spoke about the first time she walked the runway, her heart pounding but her smile steady. Ethan shared about filming a scene for an indie music video, when the moonlight reflected on the lake in a way that created the perfect shot. Maya said, her eyes sparkling, "I've always thought life is like a movie, and we're the leads." Ethan smiled, taking her hand. "If that's true, you're the star of this film." But amid the sweet moments, the shadow of social prejudice began to creep in. One evening they decided to attend a jazz concert at a small club in Hollywood. Maya wore a striking red dress, glowing like a flame in the crowd. In a navy blue shirt, Ethan couldn't take his eyes off her. They stood close, swaying to the music hand in hand. But when Ethan stepped away to get drinks, Maya noticed a middle-aged man staring at the bar, his eyes heavy with judgment. When Ethan returned, she overheard the man whisper to his friend, "She doesn't belong with him." Maya tried to keep smiling, but her heart sank. Ethan noticed the change in her eyes and led her outside beneath the shimmering streetlights. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice full of concern. Maya sighed and told him what she heard. Ethan squeezed her hand tightly. "They don't know us. They don't know how deep this love runs." That moment, though painful, brought them even closer. Ethan began to understand that loving Maya wasn't just about loving a woman. It was about embracing her experiences, wounds, and pride as a black woman in America. Maya, in turn, saw in Ethan a rare sincerity. He didn't shy away from difficult conversations about race, but was willing to listen and learn. One night, as they sat on the rooftop of Ethan's apartment, gazing down at the glittering city, Maya opened up about the times she had been denied roles because of her skin color. "Once a director told me that I wasn't mainstream enough for the audience," she said, her voice tinged with sadness. Ethan sat silently momentarily, then said, "They're wrong, Maya. You're not just mainstream. You're one of a kind." That simple, heartfelt response made Maya feel seen and valued in a way she had never experienced. They began to form shared rituals, sending each other new songs every morning, or exploring hidden corners of Los Angeles together. Once Maya took Ethan to a soul food diner in Crenshaw, where she ordered fried chicken and cornbread, laughing as Ethan struggled with the heat of the hot sauce. "You need more training if you want to be a Chicago son-in-law," she teased. Ethan laughed, but deep down he knew he wanted to spend a lifetime training beside her. Those moments, simple yet profound, were the glue that bound them, turning the early days of their love into a vivid symphony. But the world didn't always embrace them. One afternoon, while walking through Griffith Park, a group of teenagers passed by and muttered a cruel remark. "That couple looks weird." Maya felt the heat rush to her face, but before she could respond, Ethan stepped forward, his voice calm yet firm. Our love doesn't need your approval." The group fell silent and then walked away. Maya looked at Ethan, her heart filled with a deep sense of safety. "Thank you," she whispered. Ethan smiled. "We're a team, Maya. Always." Their fateful meeting had now become an unquenchable flame. Every smile, every touch, every story they shared was a declaration that their love was stronger than any judging gaze. Ethan and Maya weren't just in love. They were building a world of their own, where difference was something to be celebrated, and love was the answer to every question. Their journey was only beginning, but promised chapters filled with emotion challenges and radiant triumphs. In the winter of 2015, Los Angeles dressed itself in gentle beauty with soft drizzles and sparkling Christmas lights lining the streets. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now inseparable parts of each other's lives, began to dream of a shared future. Their dates were no longer just spontaneous moments. They became building blocks of a deepening relationship where love intertwined with understanding and companionship. But as their love grew, the cold winds of social prejudice blew harder, carrying sharp words and judgmental glances from those they once considered close. This was the chapter where Ethan and Maya learned to face invisible wounds and let love become their strongest shield. Their relationship entered a new stage when Ethan invited Maya to a dinner party hosted by his film production company. It was a glamorous event held at a rooftop restaurant in downtown Los Angeles with a sweeping view of the glittering city. In a form-fitting black silk dress, Maya entered beside Ethan with the confidence of a professional model. But as they greeted Ethan's colleagues, Maya noticed that some glances directed at her were not admiring, but laced with curiosity and skepticism. After a few drinks, one colleague blurted out in front of her, "Where'd you find someone like her? I mean, she's different, right?" Though disguised with a smile, the words cut into Maya like a knife. Ethan gripped her hand tightly under the table and replied in a calm but razor-sharp tone, "I found the love of my life. What about you?" The air turned tense, and Maya forced a smile to ease the moment, but a wound had opened inside her. Prejudice didn't only come from strangers. One evening, Maya brought Ethan to Chicago to meet her family for Thanksgiving. The dining table in the small South Side home was filled with the aroma of roasted turkey and sweet potato pie, but the mood turned heavy when Maya's cousin Tanya pulled her aside. "Are you sure about him?" Tanya asked, her voice laced with concern. "He's white, Maya. He'll never understand what we go through. You're making things harder for yourself." Maya was stunned. She had prepared herself for looks from outsiders, but hadn't expected doubt to come from her own family. "Tanya, he loves me," Maya replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "And I love him. That's enough for us to try." But as she returned to the living room and saw Ethan chatting happily with her mother, Maya couldn't shake the loneliness. She wondered, was their love strong enough to overcome these barriers? Ethan wasn't immune to pressure either. An old college friend, Jake, once pulled him aside for a beer and said bluntly, "I'm not trying to be judgmental, but do you think this relationship won't be complex? Society still isn't ready for couples like that." Ethan felt the heat rise to his face. He and Jake had shared many memories, but now Ethan realized their friendship wasn't deep enough to overcome prejudice. "If society's not ready, then Maya and I will make it ready," Ethan replied, his voice firm. He left the bar that night with a heavy heart, but also filled with a fierce determination to protect his love. These trials, though painful, became a catalyst for Ethan and Maya to understand each other better. One night, after a long day of work, they curled up on the sofa in Maya's Harlem apartment while she was in Los Angeles for a photo shoot. Outside, the rain tapped gently on the window, and the glow from a table lamp bathed them in warm light. Maya, usually so strong, revealed her vulnerability for the first time. "Some days I feel tired, Ethan," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm tired of having to prove we deserve to be together." Ethan pulled her into his arms and kissed her forehead. "You don't have to prove anything," he whispered. "We are real, and I'll fight for this with you every single day." Those words, an unspoken vow, made Maya feel safer than ever before. They began finding ways to turn their wounds into strength. Maya suggested they attend a community forum on racial equality in Los Angeles. There they listened to stories from other interracial couples about the struggles of raising children and the joy of building multicultural families. Speaking to a crowd for the first time, Ethan shared, "Loving Maya has taught me that love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice to stand up for the person you love, no matter what others say." Maya looked at him, her eyes sparkling with pride. That forum didn't erase prejudice, but gave them a community, people who understood and supported them. Prejudice from the community, sharp as it was, could not break Ethan and Maya's love. Every hurtful word, every doubtful glance only made them hold each other tighter. They learned to transform trials into opportunities to understand, grow, and build a love that wasn't just theirs, but a declaration to the world. As winter passed and the rains faded, Ethan and Maya stood stronger than ever, ready for the following chapters of their inspiring love story. In the spring of 2018, Los Angeles lit up with wildflowers blooming across the hills and gentle sunlight streaming down the streets. After 3 years of love, Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson weathered the storms of prejudice and built a love as solid as the Griffith Observatory overlooking the city. With a heart full of resolve, Ethan knew it was time to take their relationship to the next level. He wanted to propose to Maya, not just to promise a shared future, but to declare to the world that their love was unbreakable. But Ethan didn't want an ordinary proposal. He wanted to create a moment for the ages, a memory they could one day tell their grandchildren. And that very moment, romantic and unexpected, would accidentally turn them into a viral sensation. With his skills as a cinematographer, Ethan spent months planning the proposal. He knew Maya adored the viral proposal videos on YouTube, those moments where love was told through imagery and music. "If I do it, it has to be epic," Ethan told himself, eyes lighting up at the thought of Maya's smile. He secretly contacted a group of close friends in the film industry, all willing to help him bring his vision to life. Ethan's idea was to create a video recounting their love story and project it on a large screen at Pershing Square, a well-known landmark in downtown Los Angeles, where hundreds of people passed by each day. The video would be a love letter in images, ending with Ethan's live proposal. Ethan discreetly collected old footage for weeks, scenes of them laughing on Venice Beach, clips of Maya singing karaoke in a small bar, and moments of them holding hands under the streetlights. He included short interviews, like one with Maya's mother smiling as she said, "Ethan makes my girl happier than I've ever seen." He chose an acoustic version of "Stand By Me" as the soundtrack, because it was the song they once danced to in the rain. Each night after Maya had gone to sleep, Ethan sat in the editing room, piecing together every frame with all the love and care he had. "This isn't just a video," he whispered to himself. "This is my promise." The big day came. Ethan told Maya he wanted to take her to an art event at Pershing Square. Maya, suspecting nothing, wore a vibrant yellow dress, her natural curls cascading freely. When they arrived at the square, a crowd had gathered around a large screen. Ethan held Maya's hand and led her to the center, his heart pounding. "What's this?" Maya asked, looking around curiously. Ethan just smiled. "Just watch. You're going to love it." Maya's face appeared as the screen lit up, smiling radiantly on the beach. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Maya covered her mouth, her eyes wide in shock. The video began telling their love story through their most beautiful moments. There were scenes of Ethan and Maya cooking together, flour on their faces dancing under the moonlight at Griffith Park, and comforting each other after tough days battling prejudice. Ethan's voice narrated Maya, "You are the light of my life. You've taught me that love isn't just a feeling, a choice to stand together no matter the challenge." The crowd applauded, some people wiping away tears. Now in tears herself, Maya turned to Ethan, but he was no longer beside her. He was on one knee, a sparkling ring in his hand. "Maya Johnson," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. "Will you marry me?" The square exploded in cheers, and Maya nodded through tears. "Yes, Ethan, I will." One of Ethan's friends captured that moment and uploaded it to YouTube under the most romantic proposal in Los Angeles. At first, the video was meant to be shared with family and friends, but it quickly went viral. Within a week, it had 5 million views and thousands of comments worldwide. "This is real love," one person wrote. "They make me believe love can overcome anything," another said. But not all the comments were kind. Some hateful remarks surfaced. "She wants a green card," or "they won't last." Ethan and Maya read those words, but instead of letting them wound, they focused on the love and support of millions of strangers. The proposal wasn't just a milestone in their relationship, it marked the beginning of a new journey. Their sudden fame on social media led to countless invitations to share their story. They began to consider launching a YouTube channel to document their lives and inspire others. Like a blazing flame, that unforgettable proposal lit the path ahead, one that would bring both the spotlight and the shadows of public attention. But with the ring on Maya's finger and love in their hearts, they knew no challenge was too great, as long as they had each other. In the summer of 2018, Los Angeles shimmered with long, sunny days and the cool breeze from the Pacific Ocean. Ethan Carter's unforgettable proposal at Pershing Square had not only bound him and Maya Johnson together in a promise of forever, it had also unintentionally opened a new chapter in their lives. The proposal video, which garnered 5 million views in just 1 week, turned them into a social media sensation. These captivating thousands were curious about their love story that transcended racial boundaries. Ethan and Maya, who had only intended to capture a special moment for their families, realized that the world was waiting for them to share more. From an ordinary couple, they stepped into the journey of becoming vloggers, transforming love and authenticity into a flame that would inspire millions. This was the chapter where their dream merged with a desire to change the world one video at a time. After the video went viral, Ethan and Maya's inbox was flooded with messages. There were congratulations from strangers as far away as Brazil and Japan, heartfelt stories from other interracial couples, and BuzzFeed and the Daily Mail interview requests. "What are we supposed to do with all this attention?" Maya asked, sitting on the couch in Ethan's apartment, holding a cup of coffee. Ethan, scrolling through YouTube comments, smiled. "Maybe we should tell our story our way." That's how the idea for a YouTube channel was born, not out of a hunger for fame, but from a desire to create a space where their love could inspire and heal. Their channel, titled Ethan and Maya, officially launched in August 2018. Their first video was a short film edited in Ethan's signature style: smooth visuals, gentle music, and honest storytelling. In it, they sat on Santa Monica Beach sharing their journey. Maya talked about the first time she felt safe holding Ethan's hand under judgmental stares. Ethan shared how Maya had taught him to listen and understand the experiences of being a Black woman in America. "We're not perfect," Maya said, looking straight into the camera, "but we choose to love each other every single day." The video ended with them laughing as waves crashed behind them. Within 24 hours, it had 500,000 views, and the channel quickly gained thousands of subscribers. The content of Ethan and Maya soon found its unique voice. They didn't just share romantic moments like trips to Yosemite or cozy home-cooked dinners. They also tackled deeper topics. One popular video, Facing Prejudice, documented a raw conversation about the hateful comments they received from, "She's not good enough for him to, they're just showing off." Maya sincerely said those words hurt, but they reminded me that our love is worth fighting for. Ethan added, "We want this channel to be where people feel seen no matter who they are." That video reached 1 million views and was flooded with comments from viewers from a couple in London to a family in South Africa, thanking them for their bravery. Ethan's creative skills in filmmaking and Maya's natural charisma and emotional insight made the channel a phenomenon. They experimented with formats, daily vlogs like Maya teaching Ethan to dance to Beyoncé, Q&A sessions, answering fan questions like, "How did you deal with family disapproval?" and a special series called Love Without Borders, where they invited other interracial couples to share their journeys. One standout episode, featuring an elderly couple from Alabama, left Ethan and Maya in tears, moved by a 40-year love story that had endured decades of prejudice. But the YouTube journey wasn't all spotlight and celebration. Fame brought new pressures. Some viewers criticized them for commercializing love, and racist remarks still appeared, though less frequently. Once Maya came across a comment that read, "She's only with him for the money." She sat silently in the room, eyes reddening. Seeing her like that, Ethan wrapped his arms around her from behind. "They don't know you," he said. "But I do, and so do millions out there." Maya smiled, gathered herself, and together they decided to make a response video, turning negativity into a chance to send a stronger, more loving message. By the end of 2018, Ethan and Maya had surpassed 1 million subscribers. They held a live stream to thank their followers, sitting in their apartment decorated with gold and white balloons. Maya, wearing an oversized sweater, beamed, "You've turned our little dream into a community." Ethan, raising a glass of wine, added, "This isn't just our channel. It's for anyone who believes in love." The live stream ended with them dancing to "Ain't No Mountain High Enough," prompting cheers and emojis from worldwide viewers. The YouTube turning point didn't just change Ethan and Maya's careers, it reshaped the way they saw their love. They realized their story wasn't just theirs anymore. It had become a torch lighting the way for others fighting for love in a world filled with barriers. With each video, they built a community where difference was celebrated, and love became a universal language. Their journey, now followed by millions, promised new chapters filled with purpose, where their light would continue to shine brighter than ever. In the fall of 2019, Los Angeles softened under cool breezes and crimson maple leaves lining the streets. After a warm vineyard wedding in Malibu, Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now husband and wife, were basking in the golden season of love and a thriving YouTube career. With over 1 million subscribers, their channel Ethan and Maya no longer worked. It became a mission to share love and acceptance. But their lives were about to enter a new chapter, one full of emotion and responsibility. The birth of their little family. With the arrival of their 2 daughters, Olivia and Sophia, Ethan and Maya not only discovered new joy, but also learned how to parent under the public eye, turning everyday moments into inspiration for millions. In 2016, before their YouTube channel became a phenomenon, Maya discovered she was pregnant. It was a winter morning when she stood in the bathroom of their Los Angeles apartment, her hands trembling as she held the pregnancy test. Ethan, making coffee in the kitchen, heard Maya call his name in a choked voice. He rushed in, and he knew instantly when he saw her tearful smile. "We're going to be parents," Maya said, and Ethan wrapped her in his arms, laughing so loudly their neighbors could probably hear. They sat on the sofa hand in hand, imagining a baby with Ethan's blue eyes and Maya's radiant smile. It was a moment when their strong love deepened beyond words. Olivia was born in September 2016, a bright-skinned baby girl with tight curls. When Ethan held her for the first time, his heart felt like it would melt. Exhausted from labor, Maya couldn't take her eyes off their daughter. They decided to share their joy on their YouTube channel through a short Welcome Olivia video. In it, Ethan pushed the stroller through the park while Maya sang a Chicago lullaby to Olivia. The comment section flooded with love. "She's the perfect blend of both of you." But there were also cruel remarks like, "That baby doesn't look like either of them." Maya, accustomed to prejudice, chose to ignore it. However, Ethan realized that parenting under public scrutiny was a whole new challenge. 3 years later, in the spring of 2019, Sophia was born. Unlike Olivia, Sophia had Ethan's piercing blue eyes and light brown skin, a living canvas of two worlds blending. This time, Ethan and Maya were more cautious about what they shared. They posted only one photo, Sophia asleep in Maya's arms, with the caption, "Our family just got a little bigger." Still, Olivia and Sophia quickly became the stars of the channel. Moments like Olivia singing "Twinkle Twinkle, Little Star," or Sophia giggling as Ethan blew soap bubbles drew millions of views. Fans adored the innocence of the two girls, calling them the biracial angels of Ethan and Maya. Parenthood brought joy, but also challenges. Ethan, once used to the flexible schedule of a filmmaker, had to learn to wake at 3 a.m. to change Olivia's diapers. Maya, still filming vlogs, often found herself drained from balancing childcare and content creation. One night, when Olivia had a fever, Maya panicked and called her mother in Chicago, while Ethan tried to stay calm and find a doctor. "We can do this, right?" Maya asked, eyes red. Ethan kissed her forehead. "We're a team, baby. Always." Moments like that, though, tense, only brought them closer. Their YouTube content began to reflect this new phase. They launched a series called The Ethan and Maya Family, sharing parenting tips from how to soothe Olivia to baking cookies with Sophia. One special video, Raising Children in a Diverse World, captured a heartfelt conversation about teaching Olivia and Sophia to be proud of their multicultural roots. Maya said that we said we want our daughters to know there are bridges between them, which makes them special. The video resonated widely, drawing stories from parents raising biracial children worldwide. But fame brought pressure too. Some viewers accused them of showing off their kids too much, and racist comments directed at Olivia and Sophia enraged Ethan. "How dare they talk about our children like that?" he said one night as they sat in the living room after the girls had fallen asleep. Maya, her patience honed through years of struggle, replied, "They don't understand Ethan. But we'll teach our girls to be strong, just like we have." Once again, they decided to create a response video, turning hate into a platform for love. The birth of Olivia and Sophia didn't just complete Ethan and Maya's love. It transformed them into symbols of a new generation, one where multicultural families are celebrated. Every smile from Olivia, every hug from Sophia, was a reminder that their love had created something extraordinary. With a camera in hand and love in their hearts, Ethan and Maya continued to document their journey, not just for their fans, but for the two little girls growing up in a world they hoped would be filled with acceptance. In winter 2020, Los Angeles was wrapped in gentle rains and a crisp chill with Christmas lights shimmering along the streets. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now a family of 4, with their 2 daughters, Olivia and Sophia, were enjoying busy yet meaningful days. Their YouTube channel, Ethan and Maya, surpassed 1.5 million subscribers, symbolizing interracial love and multicultural family life. But the glow of fame did not only bring admiration, it also drew storms of criticism and judgment from the public. In this chapter, Ethan and Maya face sharp words, relentless expectations, and moments of self-doubt, only to find strength in their love and purpose. The fame of the YouTube channel thrust Ethan and Maya into a world they had never prepared for. Every new video, whether cheerful vlogs about a trip to Disneyland with Olivia and Sophia, or deep conversations about racial equality, garnered millions of views. But with that came increasingly harsh negative comments. One video in which Maya shared her experience growing up in the South Side of Chicago was attacked by a group of viewers. "She's always talking about race, so exhausting," one comment read. Another targeted Ethan. "He's only with her to look progressive." Though just words on a screen, they pierced Maya's heart like needles. One late night, as Olivia and Sophia slept, Maya sat in the living room, scrolling through comments. "Am I overreacting?" she asked Ethan, her voice full of doubt. Ethan, editing a video, paused and wrapped his arms around her. "You're telling your truth," he said, "and that truth is changing lives." The pressure didn't come only from social media. Their fame made Ethan and Maya the center of attention at public events. At one community gathering in Los Angeles, where they had been invited to speak about interracial love, an audience member stood up and asked, "Are you really happy? Or just performing for the camera?" The question, though not hostile, stunned Maya. She gripped Ethan's hand beneath the table, seeking comfort. Ethan replied, his voice calm but firm. "We're happy because we choose each other daily, despite questions like this." The crowd applauded, but Maya couldn't shake the feeling of being scrutinized. On the drive home, she told Ethan, "Sometimes, I feel like the whole world is waiting for us to fail." Ethan pulled the car over and looked her straight in the eyes. "They can wait, but we won't give them that chance." The most brutal blow came when the negative comments turned toward Olivia and Sophia. One video, in which Olivia sang a song she had written about mommy and daddy being superheroes, received thousands of likes and cruel remarks. "This kid looks weird. She doesn't even look like her parents." Ethan, usually calm, felt his blood boil. "How dare they talk about our child like that?" he said, slamming his fist on the table. Maya, heartbroken too, held him back. "We can't control what they say," she said, "but we can teach our daughters to be strong." They decided to create a special video titled "Protecting Our Angels," where they spoke openly about the impact of hurtful words and the importance of building self-confidence in Olivia and Sophia. Maya spoke into the camera. "Our children are gifts, and we'll do everything we can to help them grow up, knowing they are beautiful in their way." The video received over 2 million views and thousands of supportive comments from parents worldwide. The public pressure also sparked tensions in their relationship. Once, when Ethan suggested making a fun video called "Weird Things Couples Do," Maya pushed back, worried they were pandering to the audience instead of living authentically. "We're turning our life into a show, Ethan," she said, her voice full of disappointment. Ethan, feeling misunderstood, replied, "I want to bring people joy." The argument dragged late into the night, but eventually they sat down hand in hand and agreed that their YouTube channel had to reflect their true selves, not the image the public expected. That conversation led to a heartfelt video titled "When We Argue," where they shared how they resolve conflicts, which made viewers love their honesty even more. These challenges, though harsh, helped Ethan and Maya grow. They began partnering with nonprofit organizations, such as a foundation supporting education for multicultural children. They hosted fan meetups, where they listened to stories from others who had faced judgment because of their love. At one gathering in San Francisco, a young couple shared that they had overcome their family's rejection, thanks to Ethan and Maya, and both Ethan and Maya cried. "This is why we do it," Maya told Ethan after the event. Though sometimes cruel, the public eye could not extinguish the fire of Ethan and Maya's love. Every harsh comment and every doubting question only made them hold each other tighter, turning wounds into fuel for their journey. With Olivia and Sophia by their side, they were building a family and a community where love and diversity were celebrated. As winter faded and the rains passed, Ethan and Maya stood stronger than ever, ready for whatever challenges came next, with open hearts and unwavering faith in love. Spring of 2021 awakened Los Angeles with blooming cherry blossoms and warm sunlight filtering through the trees. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now household names to millions through their YouTube channel, Ethan and Maya had lived through years full of emotion, from their fateful meeting, the viral proposal, to the birth of Olivia and Sophia. They had faced prejudice, public pressure, and moments of self-doubt. But precisely those challenges shaped them, transforming them from a couple in love into stronger, more thoughtful individuals with a clear vision of love and life. In this chapter, Ethan and Maya look back on their journey and realize that love doesn't just change the world around them, it transforms who they are on the inside. Once a reserved filmmaker who preferred capturing emotions in frames rather than expressing them in words, Ethan had changed profoundly through his love for Maya. In the past, he would avoid conversations about race, not from indifference, but from fear that he wasn't informed enough to speak accurately. But with patience and honesty, Maya opened a new world to him. One evening, as they sat on the balcony of their apartment, looking out over the sparkling city, Maya told him about a time she was pulled over by police, simply for looking suspicious. The story stunned Ethan. He realized the world Maya experienced vastly differed from what he had ever known. "I don't want you to feel guilty," Maya said. "I want you to understand." From that moment, Ethan began reading books about the history of racial injustice, attending workshops, and actively speaking about equality in their YouTube videos. Loving Maya taught me that listening is the first step to change. He shared his voice filled with emotion in a video. This openness deepened his bond with Maya and made him a more empathetic father, determined to raise Olivia and Sophia in a just world. On the other hand, Maya used to conceal her insecurities about her background. Growing up in Southside Chicago, she often felt she had to prove her worth in white-dominated spaces like modeling auditions. "I was always afraid of being seen as not enough," she once confided to Ethan. But her journey with him, especially becoming a mother, helped her embrace herself fully. One day when 4-year-old Olivia asked Mommy, "Why doesn't my skin look like yours?" Maya realized she needed to be proud of her skin to inspire her child. She began sharing more about her cultural heritage on YouTube, from stories of her grandmother's civil rights activism to cooking the family's traditional gumbo recipe. One video, "Proud of My Roots," in which Maya wore a Chicago flag shirt and talked about her path to self-acceptance, reached 1.5 million views. "I used to think I had to blend in," she told the camera, "but now I know I was born to stand out." That confidence changed Maya and inspired thousands of viewers, especially Black women. Parenthood became a significant milestone in their personal growth. Once clumsy with childcare, Ethan learned patience while putting Sophia to sleep or helping Olivia with her drawings. He realized fatherhood wasn't just about caretaking and being a role model. One day, Olivia asked Daddy, "Why don't some people like you and Mommy being together?" Ethan replied, "Because they haven't learned how to love like we do, sweetheart. But we're going to help them learn." That simple answer resulted from years spent reflecting on love and responsibility. Maya, with the fierce instinct of a mother, became more assertive in defending their family. When a preschool denied Olivia because she was at capacity, Maya suspected bias and confronted the administration. She said my daughter deserved to be treated fairly, and in the end, Olivia was admitted. That courage was something Maya years ago could never have imagined showing. Their YouTube career also shaped who they became. Ethan, with his filmmaking skills, learned to tell stories not just through visuals, but through emotion. He began writing scripts for videos, including a series called Lessons from Love, where they explored themes like forgiveness, communication, and patience. Maya, always natural in front of the camera, honed her hosting skills, turning everyday moments into inspiring stories. Together, they co-authored an ebook, Love Without Borders, sharing insights on building a lasting relationship under social pressure. Released at the end of 2021, the book was warmly received, with thousands of fans writing to thank them for their practical advice. These changes did not come easily. There were nights when Ethan wondered if he was doing enough for Maya and the kids, especially when faced with hateful comments. Maya, though strong, sometimes felt exhausted juggling the roles of mother, wife, and public figure. But whenever those moments came, they returned to each other. While Olivia and Sophia played in the backyard one afternoon, Ethan and Maya sat hand in hand on a swing. "Did you ever think we'd come this far?" Maya asked. Ethan smiled. "I just knew I wanted to go wherever you were." That moment, profound yet straightforward, proved how far they had come. The personal growth of Ethan and Maya is not just their story. It's a beacon for those who follow them. They've become proof that love nurtured with understanding and courage can turn each person into their best version. With Olivia and Sophia growing beside them, and a community that continues to expand, Ethan and Maya are ready for the following chapters, where they'll keep spreading their light. In the summer of 2022, Los Angeles gleamed with radiant sunlight and glittering waves along the Santa Monica beach. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now not just a couple or the parents of Olivia and Sophia, had become a symbol of interracial love through their YouTube channel, Ethan and Maya, boasting over 2 million subscribers. But their story could not be separated from the cultural backdrop of America, a country full of contradictions where strides toward racial equality are woven with lingering scars. In this chapter, Ethan and Maya stand at the crossroads of a transforming society, facing the ripples of the Black Lives Matter movement debates around interracial marriage and expectations from their communities. Amid this backdrop, they become a beacon proof that love can be an answer to deep divisions. When Ethan and Maya met in 2015, America was at a historical turning point. The Black Lives Matter movement, ignited by the death of Michael Brown in Ferguson in 2014, has shaken the nation. Protests spread from Baltimore to Oakland, with voices demanding justice for Black lives. Media coverage was saturated with images of demonstrators holding signs and facing off against riot police. Yet, polarization grew. Some viewed the movement as a necessary call for justice. Others saw it as threatening social order. Within this climate, interracial couples like Ethan and Maya became admired and judged. According to a 2017 Pew Research study, while 91% of Americans supported interracial marriage, that number dropped in more conservative communities where old prejudices still quietly lingered. Ethan, raised in suburban California, once believed racism was a thing of the past. But loving Maya exposed him to the harsh realities she endured. Once, during a dinner at an upscale Beverly Hills restaurant, a waiter continuously ignored Maya and spoke only to Ethan, as if she didn't exist. Though Maya was used to such moments, it still stung. On the drive home, she said, "Sometimes I feel invisible." Her words made Ethan realize that systemic injustice wasn't just seen on the news. It was a daily burden Maya carried. He began joining conversations about Black Lives Matter to support Maya and become part of the change. Having grown up in South Side Chicago, Maya intimately understood the injustices the movement sought to undo. She had seen her cousin detained by police for walking in the wrong neighborhood. Yet she also faced pressure from within her community. Some old friends in Chicago viewed her marriage to Ethan, a white man, as a betrayal of her heritage. "Who are you trying to be?" one friend asked at a reunion. Though hurt, Maya replied, "I'm just me and I love him." Those criticisms forced her to reflect on her identity. Still, they ultimately strengthened her resolve to raise a multicultural family where Olivia and Sophia could take pride in both sides of their heritage. America's cultural landscape in 2022 continued to challenge them. After George Floyd died in 2020, Black Lives Matter surged with renewed intensity, sparking nationwide debates on police reform, historical education, and social equity. Ethan and Maya chose to use their YouTube platform to join the dialogue. They produced a special video titled "Love in Times of Turmoil," where they shared how they educate Olivia and Sophia about social justice. In the video, Maya recounted teaching Olivia about Rosa Parks, while Ethan explained how he helped Sophia understand the importance of unity. Ethan said, "We want our daughters to know that our love is part of a larger fight." The video reached 3 million views, with thousands of comments thanking them for honesty. But speaking out came with risks. Some viewers criticized them for politicizing their channel, and racist comments aimed at their family increased. "They're just using the movement for fame," one comment read. Though angry, Ethan learned to stay calm while Maya, tempered by years of experience, responded during a live stream. "We're not talking about politics. We're talking about people, family, and love." Her sincerity shifted many perspectives, and their channel continued to attract viewers seeking hope amid division. Ethan and Maya also became symbols within interracial communities. They were invited as keynote speakers at a multicultural family conference in Atlanta. Before hundreds of attendees, Maya said, "Our love isn't the solution to every problem, but it's proof that we can build bridges between worlds." Ethan added that every time we hold hands, we tell the world that our differences aren't barriers. Their speech received a standing ovation, and many young couples approached them afterwards saying that Ethan and Maya had given them the courage to love despite prejudice. With its waves of reform and resistance, the American cultural landscape had shaped Ethan and Maya, but they too had reshaped it. Through each video and story, they turned their love into a declaration. Love could be a unifying flame in a country fractured by race. With Olivia and Sophia growing up in their arms, Ethan and Maya were living not only for today, but for a future where their children's generation might face fewer wounds from the past. In the winter of 2023, Los Angeles shimmered with the glow of Christmas lights strung across every street, and the festive air danced on chilly winds. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson, now icons of interracial love, with their YouTube channel, Ethan and Maya, reaching over 2.5 million subscribers, had journeyed through an emotional odyssey. From a chance meeting, a viral proposal, to the births of Olivia and Sophia, they hadn't just built a family. They had created a community united by the message that love knows no boundaries of race, age, or nationality. In this chapter, Ethan and Maya spread that message through videos, community events, and moments of deep connection, turning their love into a flame that warms hearts searching for hope in a divided world. Their message of love began with their own story. They didn't just share joyful moments like Olivia and Sophia playing in the park or family trips to the Grand Canyon, but also the trials they had overcome. One standout video, "Love Without Borders," produced in early 2023, became their most powerful declaration. In the video, Ethan and Maya sat in a field of wildflowers on the outskirts of Los Angeles, bathed in the golden glow of sunset. Maya said, "We've been judged and doubted, but every time we hold hands, we remind the world that love is a choice to care, despite all barriers." Ethan continued, "We want Olivia and Sophia to grow up in a world where love is celebrated, not limited by skin color." The video reached 4 million views, with thousands of comments from viewers around the globe, from a couple in Nigeria to a family in Canada, sharing that Ethan and Maya gave them the courage to love. But they didn't stop at YouTube. Realizing the power of their story, Ethan and Maya began organizing fan meetups, inviting interracial couples and multicultural families to share their experiences. One memorable event occurred at a community center in Los Angeles, drawing over 300 attendees. In a warm space lit by rows of lanterns, A young couple, Maria and David, spoke about being rejected by their families due to racial differences. With tears in her eyes, Maria said, "Seeing you two on YouTube, we knew we weren't alone." Maya, seated beside Ethan, took the young woman's hand and replied, "You are never alone. We are a community." Ethan added, "Your love is strength, and we're here to remind you of that." The room erupted in applause, and many embraced one another as if invisible walls had dissolved. Their message also resonated with younger audiences. On one occasion, Ethan and Maya visited a high school in Oakland to talk about diversity. A student asked, "How did you overcome the hateful comments?" Maya smiled and shared that she had read a comment that said she didn't deserve Ethan. "At first it hurt," she said, "but then I realized those words don't define me. Our love, our family, that's what matters." Ethan added, "Find people who love you truly, and they'll be your shield." The students clapped enthusiastically, and after the talk, a group came up for photos, calling them the most inspiring couple. But spreading love isn't always easy. Some of their videos, especially those addressing race, continued to attract negative comments. "They're just profiting off their love story," one viewer wrote. Ethan, though, used to criticism, sometimes felt drained. One night after Olivia and Sophia had gone to bed, he asked Maya if it was worth dealing with all of this. Maya, folding laundry, paused and looked at him. She said that whenever someone tells us we've changed how they see love, it's worth it. They created a response video titled, "Why We Keep Going," explaining that every hateful comment fuels their determination. The video received overwhelming support, with one viewer writing, "You are a light in the darkness." Ethan and Maya expanded their message through creative projects. They partnered with a nonprofit to launch a campaign called Love Without Limits, encouraging people to share their love stories on social media using the hashtag #LoveNoLimits. The campaign quickly gained traction, with thousands of posts worldwide, from an elderly couple in India to a family in Brazil. One particularly moving post came from a single mother in Texas who wrote, watching Ethan and Maya, "I teach my son that love is freedom." Maya, reading the post, burst into tears. "This is why we do this," she told Ethan. The message of love from Ethan and Maya isn't just words, it's action, it's community, it's hope. They turn everyday moments, like Olivia drawing a picture of a rainbow family, or Sophia singing a song she wrote, into reminders that love can heal. As winter 2023 fades and the Christmas lights dim, Ethan and Maya stand firm like a lighthouse, guiding those seeking love in a fractured world. Their journey is now the journey of millions, one that promises a future where love always wins. In the spring of 2025, Los Angeles glowed with wildflowers spreading across the hills and gentle sunlight painting the palm-lined streets. Years into their love story, Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson. Ethan Carter and Maya Johnson stood firm like a lighthouse amidst waves of prejudice, fame, and fierce love. Their YouTube channel, Ethan and Maya, with over 3 million subscribers, had become more than just a platform for sharing. It had become a symbol of hope, a place where they spread the message that love can transcend any boundary. With their 2 daughters, Olivia and Sophia, growing up in a home filled with love and a global community supporting them, Ethan and Maya continued their journey, not only living for the present, but helping shape a future where love and acceptance prevail. This chapter marks the end of a story, but also the beginning of new dreams. Their home in Los Angeles, a modern apartment with large windows overlooking the city, had become the heart of joyful moments. Olivia, now 8, with her curly hair and radiant smile, often ran around singing her original songs. Sophia, 5, with her bright blue eyes and curious nature, liked to sit beside Ethan, coloring drawings of their rainbow family. Each morning, Maya brewed coffee while Ethan made breakfast strawberry syrup pancakes, the girl's favorite. These simple moments, like the whole family laughing together in the kitchen, were captured in their vlogs, drawing millions of views. Maya said, "We're not trying to be perfect in one video. We want to share the joy of a family that loves each other." Their YouTube career continued to flourish with new projects. Following the success of their ebook, Love Without Borders, Ethan and Maya launched a family clothing line called Love No Limits, featuring t-shirts with quotes like, "Love is freedom and family is a bridge." The collection, which Olivia helped design, sold out within its first week. Fans from Tokyo to London posted photos of them wearing the shirts on Instagram. They also launched a new video series, Our Journey, revisiting major life milestones from their first meeting on MySpace to Sophia's birth. A special episode featured Olivia and Sophia interviewing their parents with innocent questions like, "Do you ever argue about pizza?" The video reached 5 million views, a testament to the charm of authenticity. But their journey wasn't without its challenges. Though society had progressed, prejudice still lingered. One day, while dropping Olivia off at ballet class, Maya overheard a parent whisper, "That girl doesn't look like her mother." Instead of staying silent like before, Maya smiled and said, "She's the most beautiful blend of us." Olivia, overhearing, ran to hug her mom and whispered, "You're my superhero." Maya shared the moment on YouTube, inspiring thousands of parents to teach their children to be proud of their multicultural roots. Ethan, ever perceptive, turned the story into a video titled, Teaching Our Kids to Love Themselves, emphasizing that family love is the strongest shield against judgment. They also expanded their community efforts by growing the Love Without Limits campaign. In 2025, they hosted a global online event connecting interracial couples and multicultural families from over 50 countries. During the event, a couple from South Africa shared how they overcame family rejection thanks to watching Ethan and Maya. Maya, moderating the event, cried while reading a message from a teenager in India. "You gave me the courage to dream of a love without limits." Standing beside her, Ethan held her hand and said to the audience, "We're not doing this alone. You are the flame that keeps this message burning." The event ended with a song written by Olivia, Shining Together, which millions of people worldwide sang along to. Ethan and Maya's vision for the future goes beyond YouTube. They began collaborating with an education nonprofit to develop a curriculum on diversity for elementary students, hoping Olivia and Sophia would grow up in a world with fewer biases. They also started planning a documentary film telling the stories of multicultural families worldwide, with Ethan directing and Maya producing. Ethan said, "We want to leave a legacy," in an interview with a magazine. "Not just for our kids, but for anyone who believes love can change the world." As the sun set over Los Angeles, Ethan and Maya often sat on their rooftop watching Olivia and Sophia play under the soft glow of lights. 10 years ago, "Did you ever think we'd be here?" Maya asked, resting her head on Ethan's shoulder. He smiled and kissed her forehead. "All I knew was I wanted to be with you, and that was enough." They held hands, feeling the rhythm of a love that had weathered every storm, from judgmental stares to public pressure. What began as a love story had become a movement, a promise that love will always find a way to shine. With Olivia and Sophia as their future, and millions of supporters walking beside them, Ethan and Maya kept going, carrying the flame of hope and transformation.